You guys already know what this video is about. How to be disciplined. Let's talk about it. You clicked on this video for a reason. You might be asking yourself, how do I be disciplined? How do I be like a Navy SEAL? How do I be like a monk? How do I be disciplined like a warrior? These are all disciplined professions. We all admire them because of the discipline, the grit, the hard work that they must go through to achieve that level, to achieve that title. Number one, you must embrace adversity. In all aspects of life, we go through adversity, we go through a challenge. Whether if it's, heartbreak, losing someone, unfortunately, losing something. Life throws its jabs at us, and it's up to us how we move, how we react to it. Even when we're working out, we're putting our body through adversity to grow, to become stronger. There's a saying that I live by whenever I don't want to do something, whenever I'm not disciplined. It's a famous one that Navy SEALs say. It's the only easy day was yesterday. I like this saying because I gotta work today to become better. And then the next day, I gotta work today to become better. The next day after, I gotta work today to become better. I know you guys are gonna get annoyed with me on this one, but number two is gonna be yoga and meditation. How do I become disciplined through yoga and meditation, right? What role does that even play in being disciplined? It makes no sense. It makes a lot of sense actually, because what happens is that the positions that you're put in is mad uncomfortable and it hurts. You're like, you're breathing and you're staying focused on your body and you're trying to relax your muscles so your muscles could loosen and whatever. Now, why does this help being disciplined? It helps being disciplined because let's say you gotta go work out. Instead of thinking about the grueling task and but I gotta go run and I gotta do push-ups later. You're not thinking about what you gotta do later on. You're not thinking about what you did in the past. Same thing with meditation, clearing your mind, but just being present. There's something I want you guys to know about the mind. And David Goggins says this best, is that your mind has the advantage over you. Why is this? Because it wants you to be comfortable. It knows you know yourself better than anybody else. So it knows your weaknesses. When you have those moments is when you gotta clear your thoughts and be present and be like, no. That's why I say that meditation is very helpful, because your mind can make it easy to give in and could be deceitful and stuff like that. That's why I say yoga and meditation helps. Now, I think this is the most difficult one, and honestly the most underrated one that, a lot of people don't really talk about when it comes to being disciplined. And it's number 3, and this is your sleep schedule, fixing your sleep schedule. Now, I know a lot of these gurus and a lot of people, I don't sleep, I stay up, work out. Don't do this. Especially if you're starting out on the grind, you're starting out on your work, don't do this. Sleep is very important when it comes to being disciplined. Why is that? Let me explain. It's a lot easier to perform your tasks when you're cognitively there on 8 hours of sleep. When you got 4 to 6 hours of sleep, it's a lot harder to do your task because you're tired, you're mentally tired, you're physically tired. You start thinking like, dang, is this really worth it? Why do you think Navy SEALs, they do Hell Week, and that whole week is they literally run off of no sleep, because that's how they weed out the weakest links. If you don't have sleep, then you don't really make the best decision. You might overeat, you're more likely to gain weight. And also, there's a lot of scary side effects. If you read the book, Why We Sleep, explains a lot. Like, it ages you by 10 years and it's like very gradual. So now, me personally, I would say get 8 hours of sleep and wake up at 5 in the morning, but I understand that a lot of people can't really do that. Waking up at 5 in the morning isn't for everybody, and you don't need to wake up at 5 in the morning to be productive or be successful. Don't let these people fool you. You can wake up at 6, you can wake up at 7, but just as long as you get 8 hours of sleep. Oftentimes, a lot of people think that they're getting enough sleep, that they might be getting 8 hours. In reality, you're just laying in bed on your phone scrolling to TikTok for 3 hours, 2 hours, and you're not sleeping. If you get this app called Sleep Cycle, it tracks your sleep, and you really know how much sleep you're getting. When I first started using this app, I really thought I was getting like a high number of sleep, but in reality, I was getting like 5 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours of sleep. And it's kind of scary when you realize you're like, damn, like I'm really not going to sleep. Like it will shock you at how little sleep you get. If I want to wake up at 5 and I want to have like 8 hours of sleep, I'd have to be asleep by 9. For that, I'd have to be in bed by 8. Who goes to bed at 8? Tell me. Who's in bed by 8? The reality of it is that you're supposed to be in bed at least 1 hour before you're gonna go to sleep, and that's including like no phone or no technology. There's a lot of stuff that you could do to help yourself go to sleep. Read a book, meditate, whatever. And Here's another one. I'm gonna throw an extra one in there. Before you start going to bed, prepare for the next day. So have your clothes out. Like if you're gonna cook or something like that, have your meat in the refrigerator, defrosting or whatever it is. You make the tasks easier for yourself the next day, and you could just go get up and go and not think about it. That would help with your discipline a lot. Just like it's easy to eat chips when they're on the table, eat cookies when they're right there in front of your face. Even though you know you shouldn't, it's like right there. So it's a lot easier to just, and you don't gotta cook it, it's more accessible. Reverse that, but in a positive way when it comes to your goals. Make it easier to eat healthy food, make it easier to go out and perform the tasks that you need to do. I want you to keep this last one in mind. I'm gonna go off on a bit of a tangent here, but everything that I'm about to say is very important because this is the conclusion. And this one, you got to listen to it. Always look for moments of discomfort. You think about who you want to be or the things that you want, the person that you are. You must act like that already. Sometimes it might be uncomfortable because you don't have those things already. You're not that person yet, but you must become. So you must take in that personality. For example, let's just say I'm a weak person. I'm not assertive. I let people walk all over me, but I want to be assertive, right? So I must act like I'm assertive already. So whenever there's a test, whenever somebody tries to overstep a boundary, now you gotta face that moment of discomfort because you're so used to letting people walk all over you and all this stuff like that. So now you gotta kind of push a little bit further and be assertive and be like, hey man, I don't like that you did this, or don't do that, or you know, whatever. And you set your boundary. When you're training and you wake up and you're just like, damn, like I could get another rest, or I could, like how I said earlier, your mind is trying to talk you out of it. Your brain is trying to use the advantage over you. Chase that discomfort now. And I'm even ashamed to say it. Recently, I felt like this was all pointless. I felt like, why keep grinding your whole life? What is the purpose of all this? And this is why I'm making this video. And I came to the conclusion that eating healthy is a lifestyle. Going to the gym is a lifestyle. You do this for life until you can't do it anymore, to keep your body and mind healthy. But it's no longer a drag. It's only in the beginning to where it's a drag, to where you're like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But then the grind becomes you. You become the grind. And it's just natural for you. It's just a habit. You do it every day and you love to do it. You feel off when you don't. Then I came to a deeper conclusion. It's just something I realized that is often overlooked when people talk about self-improvement. I'm one of the first people to touch on this topic. The reason why I tell you to always seek discomfort, to embrace adversity, to be on the grind, to meditate, to do all these habits, right? Because life has its ups and downs. Life is not always sunshine and rainbows how they make it seem on the TV. It's not always linear. It's nothing like that. There might be a time in your life, and I hope it doesn't happen, but who knows, right? There might be a time in your life to where everything crumbles down. You're in a dark place. You lose everything, worst case scenario. And it's up to you to react in a certain way, to react stoically. And this is why I made this video. This is why I'm telling you to develop the resilient mind, because developing on yourself, working on yourself, doing self-improvement, being on self-improvement is how you create grit in yourself. So when darkness tries to consume you, when life just punches you straight in your mouth, you eat that shit and you say, is that all you got? Or you're relentless, you're a beast, you're a walking tank, or you're still walking, you're still standing, no matter what injury is dealt. I want you to know that I don't mean a walking tank physically, but in mind, because that is the most important thing. If this is broken, then this means nothing. Do these things to stay on the grind, to do these habits, not only because it's beneficial to yourself, not only because you'll feel good. When you are facing dark times, you can be strong. You can know what to do next. And these habits are important because when dark times come into your life, you can handle them. You know what to do. You won't just give up just because things got difficult, especially because people are depending on you. So I just thought about this right now. This is perfect. Think about yourself as a sword. A sword won't be no good if they take it out the fire and they start banging on it and it breaks because they can't take the heat. They can't take the banging. Only through being in fire and being molded can the sword cut effortlessly. So you gotta be sharp here and here. So I always advocate for self-improvement, and I feel like a lot of people skip over this, and a lot of people kind of choose comfort over growth. Oftentimes they're like, why do I need to work out? I don't need to work out. Yeah, you guys are just insecure. Blah, blah, blah. I feel like the overall scale of it is because it creates grit. And so when you have a troubling situation, when you have a situation that a lot of people can't handle, you're ready for it. You're there because it calloused your mind. You built that mental toughness. You don't quit when things get difficult. When you don't have an option to be comfortable, what are you gonna do? Build a resilient mind so that when tough times come, when life punches you in the mouth, you can keep fighting, stand there unfazed, like they say, and come out on top, man. Mad love. I think yeah, I got nothing else to say. Stay disciplined, stay on the grind. Peace.